his passes. I think that's what's amazing.
Hey, the whole game of football has gone past crazy. It started in the pros. It's gone down through the colleges, the high schools. Everybody's throwing the ball now.
We told you about one comparison between these two teams. Their common opponent game with Highland, with Centennial winning by 3 and Pocatello by 2. However, here's another situation. Centennial is averaging 30 points a game, 9 points allowed. Pocatello averaging 37 a game, allowing only 12 points. And right now, our national anthem. You take a look at the Centennial Patriots sideline, Pocatello on the far side, and here at the Kibbie Dome, they've opened only one side. That's the near side that we are on, the press box side, so you'll see nobody on the other side. They just kind of decided to pack everybody in on the near side. As I understand it, Centennial had 6 busloads of people coming up. The weather outside foggy here in the Palouse. In fact, the Pullman Airport, which serves Moscow, has been closed down. But here inside, well, that's what they've got a dome for in November in the Palouse. Centennial will be kicking it off, Pocatello receiving. Greg Smith will give it the boot. Back deep for Pocatello, Brian Atkinson. What a year he had as a receiver. He's had 39 catches this year. And Jerry Belknap, number 10, he's rushed for 1,107 yards this year. That's Atkinson on your right, Belknap on your left. And we're getting ready to go. They've been 1-2 all year. Centennial started the season number 1 as the defending A1 champs. They were number 1 until October 6th when Pocatello beat Highland 14-12 at Holt Arena. And the next Monday, they came up number 1. It's a short kick. Coming up to take it is Atkinson. Atkinson gets out to about the 27, 28-yard line. So for the Pocatello Indians, if a guy named Scott Wolfenbarger gets hot, watch out.
Well, the Pocatello coaching staff before the game talking about that very situation. When he gets on a roll, look out, because he can really light things up.
1st and 10 for the Pocatello Indians at the 28-yard line as we get underway here at the Kibbie Dome. 2 undefeated teams, and Wolfenbarger going to the air right away. The pass is complete to Brian Ratliff.
That was Belknap, number 10, coming out of the backfield. You know, they're going to split these backs out. They're going to set them in slots. They'll put them on the wings. And you'll see those running backs used as receivers very, very often in this offense.
Mike Berry comes to the near side. Pocatello in the I-4 Nation. Belknap again breaks through that front line, and he is into Centennial territory at the 49-yard line. Pickup of 9.
Good indication there why he gained 1,000 yards this year. Real strong kid, good leg drive, and just really carried 4 or 5 guys with him about 5 yards down the field.
2nd down and 1 at the 49 of Centennial. We are just underway here at the Kibbie Dome. Atkinson goes wide to the left. Berry comes to the near side. Wade Bell, the fullback, with it. He gets close to a 1st down before he's met by Mike Cox.
Mike Cox, not a big linebacker in there, 6'1", 175 pounds, but he stepped up real nice into that hole, made the good tackle, and kept him about a yard short of the 1st down.
So we got a 3rd down here. Avery Griggs, the tight end. A fumble. Wolfenbarger picks it up. A flag flies. He has the first down, but we'll check the laundry on the field. Wolfenbarger couldn't handle the snap. Made it on his own, and then the flag flew, so we'll check it out. Motion penalty against Pocatello. That'll back it up. It'll be about 3rd down and 6.
A little case of the nerves here for that offensive team from Pocatello. 2 11-0 teams. It takes a series or two to get those jitters, get those butterflies out of your stomach.
White, 3rd down.
So now you got a 3rd down and 6 instead of 3rd down and 1, and they're in a passing formation, buried in the near side slot left. Bell the lone setback. Wolfenbarger looking out for Belknap, and Belknap catches it. 1st down territory at the 45.
2 passing situations for Pocatello, and they've really worked over that flat, Wayne, so far. You see about a 5-step drop there by Wolfenbarger, and they're working the receiver out in the flat, taking advantage of linebackers and cornerbacks on the outside.
Well, Orlando Piva was on the coverage, but he had to come up a lot quicker than he thought. 1st down at the 45. I formation. Belknap again, and he is stacked up in the backfield. Brett Baxter came up to help out, but I didn't catch who got there first. He wasn't the only one there.
Charles Burton, number 38, I think was the guy that stepped up into the middle there and took on the initial hits. Actually, the outside linebacker, I can't catch his number, but a good job of holding up that end.
Loss of a yard on the play. 2nd down and 11. Back at the 47-yard line. Sprint left. Wolfenbarger. He can scramble, folks. The pass is complete for a gain of about a yard. He had 2 receivers over there, but I'm sure he really wasn't expecting that. He got in trouble, had to scramble, and the receivers tried to help him out.
Well, he had Paul Benyon in his face, number 87, coming off that defensive end. Finally put the pressure on Wolfenbarger. You saw the sprint out action there, and really a lot of time to throw the ball. Good coverage by the Patriots.
These 2 teams, of course, met in the state championship semifinals last year. Centennial won at 38-17. Wolfenbarger was injured, had to watch it from the sideline. 3rd down, 12. Comes to the near side, Wolfenbarger. Stretching it out, he'll run it. Not nearly close to the 1st down. At the 42.
Again, good coverage. That's basically a coverage sack. Wolfenbarger has the option to run or throw out on that sprint out. Patriots had everything sewed up, so he tucked it under, didn't pick up much.
So Avery Griggs will come on to kick it away. Kirk Clifford deep for Centennial. That looks like a kickoff more than a punt. End over end. Very, very bad punt off the side of his foot. And they're marking it out at the 28-yard line. 12-yard punt is all for Avery Griggs.
And with Kirk Clifford back there as the return man, not a bad idea to try to get it over in the corner and not give him anywhere to run, but that was a little exaggerated, Wayne.
8:47 to go here in the 1st quarter. No score. Pocatello has had it from the onset. This is the first chance we'll get to see the Centennial offense now, led by Mark Occupy, quarterback, and of course, Kirk Clifford, the running back, for the 2nd year in a row with more than 1,000 yards rushing. Nobody in the backfield. Centennial trying to show something a little different here right off the bat. Kirk Clifford in motion. They end up with trips to the right, and Occupy will throw it to Clifford. And Clifford does a good job to get about 5 yards out of it. Brandon Barkdale was there on the coverage, but Clifford was able to get around him.
Well, the theory here is you flood that wide side of the field, get it out to the man that can run in the open field and let him go, but the defense of Pocatello not fooled at all there. Derek Ludwig coming up from that cornerback position and really doing a nice job of containing Clifford for only a 5-yard gain.
All at the 33, I formation. Craig Smith in motion. Play action, the pitch out to Kirk Clifford. Clifford with a big hole. He's out across the 45 to the 46-yard line for the 1st down.
Well, that's a nice run by Kirk Clifford, but the play set up. by Akapaw. Watch this great fake into the line on the option, and then he waits to the last minute and pitches that ball out to Clifford, and he's off to the races. He has a full head of steam when he hits that line of scrimmage.
Ends up with a 9-yard gain for Kirk Clifford. 14-yard gain, rather. First down at the 47. Looks like Akapaw calling an audible here. Akapaw letting it fly. Nobody's there. It was intended for Brett Barkley, but he kind of got tangled up there with Wayne Fry, the linebacker, and the ball fell harmlessly to the turf. It'll be second down and 10.
Well, Akapaw there read the blitz, and sure enough, Pocatello came with the blitz. Akapaw was going to go with the deep hot route, just sending a receiver straight down the field, but they missed connections, and a little confusion there on that audible.
Ball at the 47-yard line. No score yet. 8:07 to go first quarter. Smith in motion again. Akapaw just straight back over the middle to Brent Barkley. Barkley to the 44-yard line. Very close to a first down.
You see Barkley there delay on the tight end. He acts like he's going to block, delays across the middle, and a real nice gainer there by Barkley.
Big tight end, 6'3", 215-pounder, just shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1 at the 44 for the Patriots. They come out of the wishbone. And again, Akapaw calling signals. He is audibling at the line of scrimmage. Gives it to Kirk Clifford. No problem for the first down. Clifford for 2.
Well, the old Meridian fans out there that remember the wishbone offense of Meridian High years ago when this school district was combined, very reminiscent there. And you saw Centennial blowing Pocatello right off of the line, creating a huge hole. Watch this blast up the middle. They just roll that defensive line back off the ball and pick up 3.
Ball at the 41, first down 10. Wayne Zubak, Larry Pulowski with you live from the Kibbe Dome in Moscow. Tim Wright coming to the near side. Double tight end formation now for Centennial. Akapaw, Brent Barkley wide open. Barkley gets it down to the 21-yard line. 20-yard gain, and that's a quick hitter. Boy, I tell you what, we've got enough Idaho games. That was an Idaho play.
Well, Barkley in that tight end position is flexed out. He's got about a 3 or 4 yard split from his tackle, so he's already got a good angle to come across the middle, and Akapaw hits him right on the numbers, and he's off to the races.
So Centennial driving here. They come out of the I formation at the 21-yard line of Pocatello. No score. Centennial, the first time they've had the football. Greg Wilson in the ball game. He's in the slot left. Akapaw, hand off to Clifford. A flag flies. Clifford has a hole. Clifford, touchdown, but let's check the flag. 21-yard touchdown run by Kirk Clifford. We'll check the flag, and it's going to be against Centennial. You see Mark Akapaw, a motion call, and we will call it back.
Now that's going to negate a heck of a run there by Kirk Clifford. Watch the acceleration on his part. Once he gets the ball, he really takes off, and there is some kind of motion penalty, but watch the acceleration. He just busted straight up the field. The young man knows where it is, but all for naught, they roll her back.
First down.
So they bring it all the way back out to the 26-yard line. First down. 1st and 15. 6:30 to go, first quarter, no score, taken back as the Patriots come out in a wishbone and kind of do all kinds of shifting. They look like the Dallas Cowboys out there now, as much shifting as they're doing. Pass underneath, complete to Troy Rice, the running back, a senior. He'll get a couple of yards.
Good job there by Rice to protect the ball. He knew as soon as he got it, he was going to be hit by Pocatello. Really covered up well, picked up a nice gain. Picked up all the yardage they lost on the penalty, plus maybe 1.
Tim Wright and Greg Smith split wide to the right. Now Greg Wilson goes that way too, so trips to the right side. Kirk Clifford the lone setback, and he gets the pitch. Clifford nowhere to go. Really saving that play and coming up was Wayne Fry. He didn't make the actual tackle, but he slowed Clifford up enough to get some help.
Chris Treadwell, number 41, also up in the face of Clifford there, makes him cut back in, misses the tackle first, but at least sends him back to the inside, which is what that outside contain man has to do. He has to send him back inside where there's some help.
So it's third down, 10 to go. The ball at the 21-yard line, which was the original line of scrimmage before the motion penalty. Achenpaugh passing to Barkley, incomplete. Ball was there a little bit high and a little bit behind Brent Barkley. And it'll be fourth down and 10.
Centennial really trying to take advantage of how far this Pocatello defense is playing up on the ball. They really have those safeties and defensive backs pushed up, trying to jam receivers, and you can see all the hot routes they're trying with that tight end, just dumping it over the middle.
So they're going to try a field goal attempt here. Coming on to kick it is David Winder. From about the 28-yard line, 38-yard field goal attempt, no good. Wide to the left. It had plenty of distance, but David Winder got it a little bit left. So you see, no score. Pocatello and Centennial here in the first quarter with 4 minutes and 54 seconds left to go.
For that pita bread sensation, try the Greek Hero 301 South 4th right here in Pocatello. 11 different unique sandwiches, all made with pita bread. Come on in and visit us, folks. We're at 301 South 4th in Pocatello. And don't be fooled by the different places in town trying to imitate our Greek Hero sandwich. We have the original Greek Hero sandwich with the original sauce. We've been here for over 10 years. So come on in and try the original authentic Greek Hero sandwich at 301 South 4th in Pocatello, and go Indians.
Now bring European style to any room with Regal Aqua Pearl from Benjamin Moore Paints. This unique latex paint has a soft pearl luster that's fashionable and practical. It's washable, scrubbable, even spatter resistant. Regal Aqua Pearl from Benjamin Moore. The paint with the beautiful accent.
The paint with the beautiful accent is available at Bennett's. Idaho Glass and Paint, 850 North 5th in Pocatello.
No score. 4 minutes and 54 seconds left to go in the first quarter of this A1 Division I championship game. Live from the Kibbe Dome, Pocatello and Centennial. Pocatello taking over the number 1 spot October 6th when they beat Highland 14-12. Bell in motion, the fullback. Scott Wolfenberger, nobody back there but his own self now. Puts it out to Avery Griggs. Griggs breaks one tackle, out to the 27-yard line. A fine run by Griggs.
Griggs, 6'2", 195. Good size, strapping lad. Gets the ball out there on the outside, takes a couple of good hits. And you can see Wolfenbarger take a pretty good hit here right as he lets go of that ball. He's on the turf. He doesn't see the end of this one. Watch a nice little spin move on the sideline here.
So Avery Griggs picks up 7. It'll be 2nd and 3. Bell, the fullback, right side, has the first down. He's all the way out to the 37-yard line.
We mentioned Avery Griggs' side. He had a great block on the right side of that offensive line and just collapsed the Centennial defensive front. Gave that play a lot of room to run. Watch the right side of the offensive line, the left of your screen. Watch how it just gets collapsed. There's nobody out there. Number 56 for Centennial, Randy Amorbieta, really driven off the ball.
9-yard gain, first down, ball at the 38-yard line. Bell again, this time the left side. Bounces off a couple of people and is finally corralled after very little gain by Brett Baxter.
Nowhere to go there, Wayne. They just shut that whole left side off. Last play we saw the other end of the football, the other side of the line, get collapsed. This time, very strong. Nowhere to go.
Loss of 2 yards. 2nd down and 12. Ball at the 35-yard line. 3 minutes, 52 seconds to go here in the first quarter. So Both teams have shown that they can move the football, and that's what we expected. Both coaches think a lot of points will be scored here. Now there's going to be flags all over the place. It looks like jumping a little bit early there was Justin Pond.
Long snap count there by Wolfenbarger. Got the Patriots to jump offside. That'll shorten down that second down play a little bit.
Well, that'll make that first down a 3-yard gain instead of a 2-yard punt.
Defensive encroachment, Centennial. Second down.
So now you're looking at second down and 8. Mike Berry comes to the near side. Belknap flank wide left. Wolfenbarger looking Belknap's way. Has him for the first down, and he scoots to the 45 of Centennial.
Pocatello obviously feels that they have something on that far side there in the flat. They've gone to Belknap 3 times over there, twice in the real flat. This was a curl route. Belknap curls right in behind the linebackers in front of the cornerback, and a nice looking play there by Pocatello.
15-yard play by Pocatello, and again, as I mentioned, both these offenses showing they can move the football. Ball at the 45. Delayed handoff to Belknap, and he'll get a yard or 2. Justin Pond getting up off the bottom of the pile. Wolfenbarger back to pass. Second down and 9. Over the middle. Wide open is Belknap. And he's down to the 30-yard line. Another Pocatello first down. Here's a kid I thought was going to be dangerous running with over 1,100 yards. Now look at him catching passes.
Well, they found a way to use him down the field. And you can tell Wolfenbarger and Belknap both, they work well together because Belknap came all the way across the field that time and found an open spot, helping his quarterback out, who was in a little bit of trouble and had to scramble.
Right now, Wolfenbarger, by the way, 6 for 6 passing. Belknap the handoff. He gets to the 29. Belknap's been kind of held down. He only has 9 yards rushing, but he's just really hurting the Centennial Patriots with his pass catching.
Well, they list Belknap at 5'10", 180 pounds. But he's got a good set of legs on him. Real sturdy-looking kid. You can see there again the collapse there by Charles Burton from Centennial. Steps right up into that hole, cuts Belknap down.
Again, the I formation, the play action. Wolfenbarger got chased, gets it out to Bell. And Bell gets down close to yet another first down at the 23. Wade Bell, 6 foot, 195-pound junior.
You know, an interesting note on this Pocatello sidelines, you won't see Jim Cutter down there. Reason? He's up in the booth calling the plays from the press box. Kind of an unusual situation.
He did that last week for the first half against Capital in a semifinal playoff game, and the Indians scored 28 first-half points. Apparently there's an equipment problem. Avery Griggs, number 5 at the top of your screen, getting some help from the official.
Well, it sure gives that head coach a unique perspective, and who knows this offense better than Jim Cutter.
What an interesting story. Of course, Jim Cutter, for years, 15 to be exact, the head coach of the Highland Rams, compiled a record of 129, 49, and 2. Belknap up the middle, cuts back down to the 15-yard line. Gain of 8. And another Pocatello first down.
Good example there of the slashing type of running that Belknap can exhibit. A good cutback against the grain.
Belknap now has carried the ball 5 times for 17 yards, and they come out of the I at the 15 with 1:33 to go here in the first quarter. Belknap again, flag goes down, and Belknap goes down, a loss of a yard, but they could be facing a lot more than that.
An area where you're probably going to see holding, and that's what we get, holding on Pocatello. Big number 79, Barry Smith, 6'5", 290 pounds. Count them, 290.
I didn't think, you know, when I went to school, they didn't make kids that big in high school.
Well, they didn't make uniforms that big. But he is a big one, but he got caught with the hands out on that play.
You saw Belknap get up limping just a little bit. He's okay. He's just shaking it off. He got caught underneath that pile.
Holding, Pocatello, first down.
They back it all the way out to the 27-yard line, where it'll be first down and a bundle to go. First down, 22 to go. Wolfenbarger. Again out in that same flat, again for Belknap. This time it's not there. Mike Cox on the coverage. That's the first pass that Wolfenbarger has thrown incomplete. He's now 7 of 8 for 63 yards.
And probably better off to be short on that play. Cox had good coverage on Belknap out of the backfield that time. Centennial, at least on that play, catching up with Belknap, who's been running down the field pretty much wide open all evening long.
Brian Atkinson comes to their side along with Barry. It's the 12th play of the drive right here. Number 12 calling it to Belknap. Great catch. Run out of bounds by Brett Baxter at the 12-yard line. That'll be shy of a first down. They've got to go down to the 5. So it will be third down. But it's a 14-yard gain.
Again, the rollout, a big part of this offense employed by Jim Cutter, and Wolfenbarger does it very nicely. Belknap having a career here in the first quarter.
Isn't that so? 54 seconds to go in the first quarter. Still no score. This is third down and 7. Wolfenbarger with the pressure. Throws back over the middle. Justin Kahn got a hand on that ball and knocked it down. Big number 53 said, no, sir, you're not going to do it. Knocked it away.
And almost a critical mistake there by Wolfenbarger. Kind of threw it up for grabs. He had some pressure. He was in real near danger of being sacked back there. You can see the initial pressure, then later pressure. He just throws it up, and there's more Patriots than there are Indians in that picture.
Now we got another field goal attempt here. Derek Marley coming on. He'll put it down at the 18-yard line. 28-yard field goal attempt from Marley. No score with 48 seconds to go in the first quarter. He's got the distance, but he's off to the right. So Centennial missed wide left. Pocatello has now missed wide right. Both have moved the football. Both come in here 11-0, and so far we can see why they have been so close all season long.
Now some real nice pressure up the middle on this field goal attempt.
Here it is. You can see it just wide to the right.
Charles Burton gets some real nice pressure right straight up the middle. Nobody touched him.
That was a 14-play, 68-yard drive, and they come away empty-handed with 43 seconds to go. Centennial comes out at their 20-yard line, and Kirk Clifford gets the call, and he'll be lucky to get back to the 20.
Left side of that Pocatello defensive line really bottling things up. And this offensive front for Centennial, not quite as big as the offensive line they had last year when they won the state championship, but still a good-sized line and a good line.
This could very well be the last play of the first quarter. Tight end shifting. Smith, Barkley. Kirk Clifford, the lone running back. Hockenpah got that snap off with 1 second on the clock to get it off. And as you see, Kirk Clifford got nowhere. It is going to be third down and a bunch. Third down and 11 to go.
Big number 99, Sean Matashaw, 6'3", 220. Puts the hammer on Clifford and puts him on his back.
And these two teams, 11-0 on the year, have played a scoreless first quarter. We played the first 12 minutes. It's 0-0. We'll be back at the Kibbie Dome in a moment.
Heartbeat. Something new is coming to Southeast Idaho. Heartbeat. You'll find it in American Falls. It's Rick's Chevrolet Oldsmobile GMC truck. Heartbeat. heartbeat of Southeast Idaho is Rick's Chevrolet Oldsmobile GMC truck. A better deal is just 20 minutes away at Rick's Chevrolet.
Come join Santa at the Pine Ridge Mall in making this a Christmas to remember. Visit T-Shirts Plus with 2 convenient locations. Try the new Spin Art. Design your own T-shirt and they'll spin it for you. For a personalized gift, transfer your own photograph onto one of the many T-shirts or sweat tops. There's also puff prints, Idaho print designs, and satin or supplex coats. Visit the Centennial Center and shop T-Shirts Plus. Santa and the Pine Ridge Mall, making yours a Christmas to remember.
Everybody knows it when our anniversary sale is in progress at Dell's Mountain Electric. Customers save money on quality that remains the very best. Take GE VCRs, for example. Model VG7520 with on-screen remote programming is a real special at only $279. And the GE Model 13 GP431, the 13-inch digital remote control color TV with on-screen menu selection is a heck of a buy at just $249. Take advantage of these store-wide anniversary savings now at Dell's Mountain Electric.
Yards, Pocatello with 108. So the Indians have moved the ball very, very well, but have still come up empty-handed. It's 0-0 as we start the second quarter. Wayne Dzubak along with Larry Pulowski live at the Kibbie Dome in Moscow.
You know, Wayne, you're never quite sure what kind of a game you're going to get as you look at Greg Drake there. 2 good offensive teams, but 2 pretty good defensive teams. So you never know in a game like this which one of those is going to take the momentum and get things going, but normally the defenses will come out stronger at first.
Well, we're seeing that right now as Mark Ockenpaugh sends Kirk Clifford into motion. You got to guess he's going to pass, huh? Nobody's back there. He does, complete to Greg Smith. Smith is put to the ground there by John Pierce, but not before he gets a Centennial first down.
Well, this quick passing game has worked pretty well. The quick 3-step drop there by Ockenpaugh. And, you know, the coverage here is not bad by Jared Tallman. He had pretty decent coverage. He was in the vicinity, but a nice catch, nice throw by Centennial.
Ball all the way out to the 35-yard line. High formation.
Look at those wide splits on the right side of that line. There's a reason for that. They're trying to spread that defense out for that very play right there.
Greg Wilson out to the 40-yard line. 5'10", 175-pound senior.
When you split those offensive linemen out like that, the defense automatically will adjust with them, and it creates some big holes in that defensive front. And you saw Centennial there exploit that by the handoff off guard.
Wilson checks out of the ballgame. Troy Rice back in at fullback.
Look at the gaps created there. Then they block down, move people around, and it creates a big hole.
Gain is 7, second down and 3. Troy Rice goes in motion. And a timeout called by Mark Ockenpaugh. He saw something that he really didn't like. Wasn't sure and decided since we're into the second quarter, I've got my full allotment of 3 timeouts left. I might as well go over and talk with Coach Drake and see what we can do about it.
And what he saw was the blitz, and he didn't have any backs in the backfield. He didn't like those odds very well at all.
As we mentioned, statistically in the first quarter, Pocatello with 108 yards total offense, 56 for the Centennial Patriots. No turnovers. So far it's been a clean game. 2 missed field goals.
And very few yards and penalties. A couple of a motion penalty and offside. Those kinds of things are going to happen, but none of the real big penalties that are going to kill you. And you'd expect that out of 2 teams that are undefeated. They don't make mistakes. They don't hurt themselves.
There you see the Pocatello sideline. Again, a reminder, Jim Cutter up in the press box watching the game and calling plays. He likes to do that. Boy, has he been successful. The year before he got there in 1987 at Pocatello, the Indians were 2-7. Last year they were 7-4. Cutter took the Indians to the playoffs for the first time in 20 years. And, of course, this year they are 11-0. Mark Ockenpaugh, 5 of 7 passing for 55 yards. On a second down and 3, they come out of the wishbone, but quickly they go into a very different kind of a set with nobody in the backfield. So you go from 3 guys back there to nobody back there. Kirk Clifford in motion to the near side. They throw it to Clifford. And Clifford's out across the 45. Very close to another first down. It'll depend where they put the nose of that football. From here, it looks like it'll be a first down.
Really amazed by the acceleration by Clifford. Once he gets the ball, seems a lot quicker, a lot faster than he was last year. course, he was a little bit hobbled last year when we saw him playing. Look at that, just turns it right straight up the field. No messing around. He's going for yardage.
And he got that first down by the length of the football at the 45-yard line. Achenpaugh, three-step drop. Wide open is his tight end, Brent Barkley. He fights off a couple of people, but he steps out of bounds at the 44. That's a 9-yard gain.
That's the kind of effort they're exhibited on the sideline by Barkley that'll win 11 games for you as a team. If every time you touch the ball, you think in your own mind you can't be tackled, half the time you won't be tackled. You saw it right there. His right foot just barely steps out of bounds. Good job by the official to catch that.
6'3", 215-pound senior, a tough dude to bring down. Second down and 1. This pretty much opens up your playbook. In at fullback is Greg Wilson. And he gets the call. And Wilson gets about a yard, and that's it. But I think he's got the first down. That's a right foot plant, so right foot mark, and that's enough for it.
They're going to bring out the change just to make sure, but Achenpaugh really has a lot of discretion at that line of scrimmage. We've probably seen 9 or 10 audibles out of him already.
Earlier today, 8-man title was won by Garden Valley. They beat Highland Craigmont 64-14. The game stopped with 32 seconds to go because of the old 45-point rule. And they're going to be just short. Also today in the A4 championship game, tough fought game, Hagerman beating Marsing 16-12. Later tonight, yet to come, the fourth high school football game of this day, A1 Division II championship, number 1 Caldwell against number 3 Skyline. It's a game that you'll see on Channel 6 in Boise tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Tell you more about that a little bit later on. On a third down and inches from the wishbone, Mark Achenpaugh decides to call an audible. Clifford has the first down. One thing about Achenpaugh, he's not afraid to call an audible, change off even on a simple play. Well, not so simple, but, you know, a situation where you're third and inches, he's still audible.
He's a real sharp kid, and he's given that discretion by Greg Drake. They figure he can handle that, and boy, you sure can't argue with the results so far.
Centennial has averaged 30 points a game all season long. Pocatello 37. They're a little more explosive offense. They're a little more wide open. Centennial will hit you with a big play, but they also control the football very, very well, as they're doing right now. Achenpaugh rolls left, throwing, incomplete. It's going to be intercepted. Coming up with the ball is Brandon Ratliff. Ratliff, a 6'2 senior, came up with a tip, and Pocatello has it. 22-yard return by Ratliff.
Achenpaugh a little bit high on the delivery here, and the ball's tipped up in the air. Boy, as a receiver, the last thing in the world you want to do is to tip that ball straight up. Ratliff takes that gift from heaven right out of the sky, heads down the sidelines. Nice little return after the fact. There's a Patriot down on the sideline, so they're going to stop play for a little bit here.
Well, that's the kicker, David Winder. He's also a guard, offensive guard, 6 foot, 193-pound junior. Number 64. Centennial crowd here, as I mentioned, they brought 6 busloads of students up. Here's a replay of this last play where Ratliff came up with the interception.
Well, here's an end zone shot, and watch the tip. And again, the pass, a catchable pass, a little high. Big mistake there, though, to bounce that thing straight up in the air.
Winder's still down on the sidelines, on the far sideline, still working on him.
Was he the one that made the tackle on the sidelines, Wayne?
Well, there were like 3 Patriots over there, and I couldn't see if he was the one that actually got down there, but obviously he took a big hit.
Well, he's jogging off the field, so he looks like he's going to be okay, just shaken up momentarily.
Well, that's good news to see him jogging like that. I think probably got his bell rung, as they say, and had to figure out where he was. So Winder looks like he's okay. He's going to sit down on the bench and take a breather, but right now, with good field position at the Centennial 45, the Pocatello Indians have the football. No score, 9:50 to go here. First half, and Wolfenbarger going for it all to Atkinson. Touchdown, 45 yards.
Joel Galloway, the cornerback for Centennial, got himself turned around. Thought he had a shot at the interception, but that ball was very well thrown, and Atkinson takes it into the end zone.
I told you about Atkinson. Every time he touches the football, it's a 16-yard gain. He's had 39, now 40 catches this year, and that one's not going to hurt his average. A 45-yard touchdown reception, the 26th of the year, thrown by Scott Wolfenbarger. The extra point attempt is right through the middle. And so with 9:46 to go here in the first half, the Pocatello Indians have struck first. They lead it 7-0, and we'll be back at the Kibbe Dome right after this timeout.
There are movers and there are shakers. Our movers are specially trained and equipped to handle what you have to move. Shakers are not. If you're moving, don't call a shaker. Call a mover. Call Mayflower.
For your moving needs, call Southeast Idaho's #1 mover, Westergaard Mayflower, Pocatello, and Idaho Falls.
You know, folks, Don and Paul Norder are great supporters of Pocatello High School. That's why they're bringing you this game tonight right here on TV. They love the high schools, and they love Mountain Gems candies, and you will too. I've been eating Mountain Gems candies now for a long, long time, and I can tell you, folks, they're the best around. Go to your favorite store, ask for Mountain Gems candies, and have a piece of that great candy. You'll love them. I tell you, folks, it's the best candy you can get. I love them. I love them. I tell you, I love Mountain Gems.
Now we are back here at the Kibbe Dome. And look at this pass by Wolfenbarger. Right on the money to Atkinson for the 45-yard touchdown. Back to live action. Back to live action if we could. Kirk Clifford with a pretty good kickoff return. It was short. He took it at the 20-yard line and got all the way back into Pocatello territory at the 48.
And Clifford gets up limping a little bit. He's going to take a breather on the sidelines. Nice run back, but he did, I think, twist an ankle, and that's not hard to do on this turf. This turf's been around for a long time here at the Kibbe Dome. In fact, it's going to be replaced in the offseason, finally.
29-yard return, like I say. It was a very short kick, and Kirk Clifford came up to get it. So operating from the Pocatello 48, the Centennial Patriots down 7-0 here. Hockenpie, he will be sacked. Racing in to get him was Jared Tolman.
Pocatello playing a lot of games up front, a lot of blitzing, a lot of line movement, trying to confuse that offensive front from Centennial. This is going to be a one-step quick pass, but you can see Hockenpie has a guard or a tackle back in his face and can't get the ball off.
Loss of 3, second down, 13, back at the 49 of the Patriots. And Hockenpie calling an audible.
Well, he sees the blitz lineup, man coverage.
He's going for all the marbles. And this one is tipped away at the last second. That is Brad Christensen, a defensive back, 5'9", 150-pounder. Getting a hand on it at the last second. It was intended for Greg Smith.
It's not always true, but a fairly safe read when you don't see a strong safety or a free safety in the backfield. There's probably going to be a blitz, Wayne. Hockenpie lets this one fly, and some real nice coverage down there, but the correct read was made by Hockenpie. They're Centennial going to take a timeout here.
Now, that was intended for Tim Wright, not Greg Smith, and Centennial uses its second timeout here in the quarter. You know, that time, it was interesting, just to give you an idea of what really did happen, is that Akampaw thought he saw the blitz, audible to the pass to right, and what happened was the blitz didn't come. Pocatello just faked it, went back, and they dropped some people back, and that's why that pass really wasn't that wide open. I guess sometimes as a quarterback, you get up there and you roll the dice, you think you see the blitz coming.
Oh, he made the right call. I mean, that's what he's got to go to, whether it's a blitz or not. That's when you don't see any safeties, you got to do it.
There you go.
Some real nice coverage. Sometimes they just don't work.
Well, the Pocatello Indians lead this one 7-0. A beautiful pass from Scott Wolfenbarger to Brian Atkinson. 45-yard touchdown pass. We got 8:52 to go in the first half. Number 1 against number 2. Both teams 11-0. I know Centennial has not been happy about being ranked number 2. They feel like they're the defending state A1 champs. They haven't lost a football game. So until somebody beats them, they need to be ranked number 1. And that has been a bone of contention with them since October 6th when Pocatello took over the number 1 spot. Right now, though, the Indians with the upper hand leading at 7-0. What's nice about this game is that the best team in the state will certainly be decided in the next hour and a half. 3rd down and 13 at the 49-yard line. Again, Akampaw checking off at the line of scrimmage. He's got 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field. Quick drop back. Greg Smith has the football at the 35-yard line. He took a licking from John Pierce, but he held on.
And that's a gutty catch. Akampaw, the quick drop. And this is good coverage by Pearson. He puts a big hit on. But Smith able to hang on to the ball. That's a real tough catch.
16-yard gain. First and 10 from the 35. Akampaw now 8 of 12 for 84 yards. He pumps it, looking for Greg Smith. Smith has the catch. He's inside the 15 to the 18-yard line. That time just a mismatch. Smith coming in at 6'3" against Derek Ludwig at 5'9", and the big guy wins out.
Pocatello again, another blitz situation. Akampaw just kind of throws this one up in the air, and Smith could see it and came back as the receiver. You can see that. Look at Akampaw just get buried back there in the flailing duck. Smith goes up to get.
6'3" versus 5'9". I'll go with 6'3" every time. So it's a first down. The ball at the 13-yard line. 7-0 Indians. Centennial threatening. Not a whole lot there for Bryce Alexander, a senior running back at 5'7", 140 pounds. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
And a great hit there by Brandon Ratliff. Linebacker for Pocatello really comes up and puts a big hit on. See this one from the eye in the sky, the aerial camera here in the end zone. Watch number 40 Ratliff finish this one off.
Second down and 10 from the 13. Play action pass in the end zone. Intended for Smith. Turned him around a little bit, incomplete, and again they had that mismatch. Smith up against Derek Ludwig, and Ludwig never really turned around. If that pass had been on the mark, it would have been 6 points.
Akampaw bounced himself on the head a couple times after he let that one go. He knew he had the touchdown. If he could have just got Smith anywhere near the ball.
Checking into the ball game, Greg Wilson. Third down and 10 from the 13. 7:21 to go, first half. Akampaw, here comes the rush. A screen to the right side. Kirk Clifford looking for a hole. Clifford, touchdown.
Clifford got that little leg problem cleared up that he had on the kickoff. When you put that kid on the outside in a screen situation with blockers in front of him, this is normally the result. This play almost ends up in disaster before it ever gets started. You want to let those linemen through on a screen, but not quite that quick.
Oh, Will Gardner, number 46, and I got you, Mark Akampaw. And you're right, he almost foiled the play.
You know, sometimes it takes that one big play to get the offenses rolling. I think Pocatello on that long touchdown pass got things going here. Centennial lines up for two.
And Pocatello calls timeout to talk it over. Centennial caught him unaware and decided to go for 2 points down 7-6. And Pocatello said, wait a minute, you're not supposed to do this. But the thing of it is, their kicker, Winder, was the man injured a little while ago, so possibly, and he's still sitting on the bench, and some of the players were over talking to him, and so possibly that's why they had to go for the 2. I would assume that's it indeed.
Yeah, very rarely do you see a college team with 2 kickers, and almost never do you see a high school team with 2 kickers. So when you lose that guy, it's time to line it up and play a little knockdown drag out on the goal line.
There's Kirk Clifford again after catching that pass. He follows his blocking and just dives into the end zone. Good tackle by John Pierce, but Kirk Clifford had one thing on his mind, and that was getting into the end zone, and he did.
You look at Clifford, and he's 5'11", only 160 pounds. And you think, how in the world does he do some of the things that he can accomplish? But boy, I'll tell you, if I'm choosing up sides, I've got to have a guy like that on my team.
Well, Winder ran off under his own pressure. I can't tell whether that is an ice bag or a wrap on his right knee.
It is an ice bag, so he
there it is.
Must have strained that knee or drove it into the turf, hyperextension, a lot of different things that can happen, but definitely hard to kick with an ice bag underneath.
Well, if Centennial does not have a kicker the rest of the way, this could be an interesting situation all night when they have to go for 2 if they score. The pass, incomplete, out of bounds. It was intended for Travis Carlson. And so Pocatello maintains the lead at 7-6. And Centennial kind of forced into a situation here of going for 2 now every time they score.
Well, Carlson caught the ball, but as you said, clearly out of the corner of the end zone. Nice coverage there by the cornerback for Pocatello. Drove that receiver right out of the end zone.
And I think a lot of Centennial fans were looking at that as a possible infraction. But the official was right on top of it, and the score remains 7-6 Indians.
Well, on that play, you want to throw the ball right to that corner. The thing's designed basically you lay that ball right into the corner of the end zone. That one just a little bit too far, and you see Winder, the kicker, could make some real jeopardy situations after you score a touchdown. Boy, that's 3 hard yards when you're down there trying to score that 2-point conversion.
Really sets up a whole new set of strategies for Greg Drake and his coaching staff. Craig Smith will kick it off. Atkinson and Belknap deep to receive. 7:14 to go first half. 7-6 ball game. Indians on top by a point. This one going down the right side. Atkinson drops it at the 14. Scoops it up. Not a whole lot of running room there after he dropped it.
Like Kyle Battisti, number 54, on the tackle. And what on that short kick, what could have been a real nice little return with that ball being dropped, didn't help matters any. Scoring play, 7 plays, 48 yards, 2.5 minutes. So not a long drive, but an efficient drive for Centennial.
Atkinson and Belknap coming to the near side. The ball at the 24-yard line. First down and 10. Wolfenbarger dumps it off to the fullback Bell. He fumbles it. Incomplete is what the ruling is. He took a big-time hit from Charles Burton.
Well, we've called Burton's number quite a few times with some big hits. Playing that inside linebacker spot, only 5'10", 180, but he stepped up into the middle a couple times, made some good tackles, and really came up strong there. And you can ask Bell how he feels after that hit. Watch the impact here by Burton. He's got a good 5-yard head of steam built up, just takes the midsection right out of Bell.
Back to live action. Wolfenbarger rolling right. That's when he's most dangerous. Throws into a crowd, complete to Jerry Belknap. No, Atkinson, excuse me. Ryan Atkinson comes up with it at the 40, and that's a first down.
Boy, Atkinson runs a really nice route there, Wayne. He goes down about 15 yards and just does a stop route. Drove those cornerbacks and safeties deep, turned around, and Wolfenbarger delivered the ball right on the spot.
16-yard gain. First and 10 from the 39-yard line. The I formation, flag flies. Belknap gets 2. But there is a penalty, and you see motion against Pocatello.
Now, when that back judge throws it up, it's normally a motion, illegal procedure, something on that offensive backfield.
Well, you hear him say the fullback moved, but I'll tell you what, the left side of the line also moved quite a bit. So you have like 3 different Pocatello Indians moving on the play.
Maybe the center forgot the snap count.
I'm not sure. Apparently they declined it because it's second down.
Yeah, it was declined.
The pass to Atkinson. He was wide open at the 40-yard line. See, I was watching the replay. I just assumed they'd back him up 5 yards. But at any rate, a big pass there from Scott Wolfenbarger.
Brent Baxter on the coverage here for Centennial. And it was Belknap in the first quarter. Now Atkinson here in the second quarter. This one coming right into you. You can see the wide open Atkinson tackled there by Baxter.
High formation, first down, the ball at the Centennial 38. Belknap bounces off everybody and keeps going. Finally drugged down by Mike Cox. Belknap with a gain of 5 yards, and that was a hard-fought 5-yard run.
Belknap really bangs it up in there, Wayne. He takes it right up the middle, keeps the legs driving. Impressive little running back.
Well, he's carried 7 times now for 23 yards. Second down and 5. This is Bell, the fullback. He's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A flag flies. Making the stop was Matt Bradshaw. Holding against Pocatello. So that'll back it up. I don't think they'll decline this one. The way Scott Wolfenbarger's throwing the football, you want Pocatello as far back as you can if you're in purple tonight.
Discussion there with Matt Bradshaw.
Here's a replay. We'll see if we can catch the hold.
There you see the drag down there. Number 50 for Pocatello, Buck Briggs, put the clamps on. Little takedown move. Good in wrestling, bad on the football field.
There you go. Well, he said, look, he was going to get by me, so I had that going for me. I might as well just drag him down, see if I can get away with it, huh?
It works.
Sometimes. Ball back at the 45-yard line, second and 16. Wolfenbarger gets over the corner. He's going to run this one. And he's down to the 37-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 8. Scott Wolfenbarger, injured when these two teams met a year ago. Watched his team lose 38-17 in the semifinal game. And tonight has his team up 7-6.
Well, this still leaves Pocatello with a 3rd and 8 situation, so still a passing down.
Atkinson and Belknap come to the near side. Wade Bell is the fullback. Atkinson lets it fire, and again it's complete. Belknap with the reception at the 22-yard line. That's a first down. And Belknap and Atkinson are just eating up the Centennial defensive backs.
Well, you can see Atkinson again clear right down the middle of the field. Wolfenbarger going to him all the way. Atkinson sets up in front of that free safety, and that play with zone coverage works fairly well.
14-yard gain. Right now, Atkinson with 5 receptions for 110 yards. Wolfenbarger 12 of 15 for 172. He's been intercepted once, but everybody's forgotten about that now because he's also thrown for a touchdown. Take it back. He has not been intercepted. That was 1 touchdown pass, so he's having a pretty good night at 12 of 15, 172 yards and a touchdown.
Well, he sure seems to know that offense very well. He knows where the receivers are going to be. A little one-dimensional maybe in the fact that he's going to that initial receiver, but if the guy's open, I guess it really doesn't matter. You can throw him the ball and you're playing the percentages pretty well.
Well, Centennial has used its last time out. Greg Drake, with 4 minutes and 16 seconds, really doesn't want to see Pocatello on the scoreboard again in this first half. And right now, Wolfenbarger, Atkinson, and Belknap are just heating up the secondary. And he's going to go in and try to talk to them and tell them what they're doing wrong and how they can correct this thing.
Well, absolutely. That secondary, too many holes in those zone defenses. Backs not driving on the ball enough, getting to those receivers.
Wolfenbarger going back, screen right, through behind Belknap. I got to tell you, what a great fake it was by Wolfenbarger, because there were at least 3 Patriots who decided that they wanted to go to their right when the play was really going to their left. He just had everybody going the wrong way, and if he had put that ball on the mark, Belknap probably would have had a 10-yard gain, maybe more. Mike Berry splits wide right. Atkinson and Belknap come to the near side. Again, Wade Bell, the lone setback. And you got a little bit of motion there. The big guy jumped up and wanted to go too soon. That, of course, is Barry Smith, 6'5", 290-pound senior.
He's actually drawn off by the defensive man, but the defensive man can move as an offensive tackle. You've got to hold your water, and Barry Smith that time cost his team 5 yards.
Ball back at the 27-yard line, second down, 15 to go. Just straight drop back for Wolfenbarger. Wade Bell wide open. There's a flag downfield away from the play. Bell was knocked off of his feet by Matt Bradshaw, and will check out the flag down at the 5-yard line. Something happened there in the defensive secondary between a defensive back and a receiver. Personal foul against Centennial.
Well, the Patriot talking to the referee is Matt Stapello, number 46, with his hands up in the air like, what did I do? He was being blocked downfield by Avery Griggs. So some kind of little exchange happened down there.
Whatever happened down there, this is a monumental play for Pocatello, because Bell made a good gain, a gain of about 13, 14 yards. Now they're going to take it inside the 10, where it'll be first and goal to go for the Pocatello Indians at the 8. So with 3 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the first half, the Indians again threatening here. First and goal from the 8. That Centennial defense has been out there for eons. 7-6 is our score. Pocatello leads it. Wolfenbarger with a lot of pressure. Intercepted. This could go all the way. Coming up with it, Brent Raines.
Centennial came with the blitz. Wolfenbarger tried a couple of times to get the ball off, couldn't do it, and again threw the ball up for grabs. We saw him do that in the first quarter. This one was picked off. 51-yard return.
Here it is again.
There's the blitz. You see it come right up the middle. Now he just throws the ball up in the air, and it's batted back. Range picks it off, and he's rambling. It took him a while to get going, but once he did, he kept moving. 51-yard return.
Wade Bell giving chase. He gets a good licking right there.
Hello, Wade.
So what a turnabout. First and goal to go at the 8-yard line for Pocatello. First down and 10 from the 30 of Pocatello for Centennial. Mark Achenbaugh. There was nothing doing on that play. Pocatello had it sniffed out, and Achenbaugh will be thrown for a half-a-yard loss. Finally making the stop on him was Will Gardner.
Will Gardner will get credit for that tackle, with some real good upfield movement there by that Pocatello defense. Flushed him out of the pocket. No time to throw the ball. Gardner gets the sack.
Second down and 11 from the 31. Boy, what a change of momentum here. Achenbach looking in the end zone. Intended for Greg Smith. Overthrown. Well, they have that mismatch again with Greg Smith. I think they're going to try to get that all night, and Derek Ludwig.
Jared Tolman, number 25 for Pocatello, again put Achenbach on his back. He's really had some tough hits tonight, a lot of pressure, a lot of people in his face, especially in this second quarter.
2 minutes, 23 seconds to go here in the second quarter. 3rd down and 12. Achenbach, the option. And he is drugged down from behind. Wayne Fry, 5'10", 205-pound senior.
Achenbach going to have to rearrange his wardrobe after that play. Fry makes a whirly-bird out of him, just keeps a hold of that jersey and brings him on down.
Well, again, David Winder sitting on the bench. He has been injured. His right knee has an ice pack on it, so there's no attempt at a field goal here. That's why it's 7-6. Centennial had to go for 2 because they don't have a kicker right now. So it's 4th down and 10 after that 2-yard pickup. Here comes the blitz. The pass over the middle to Barkley. Complete but short of the first down. The coverage by Brandon Ratcliffe.
Pocatello really playing that blitz to the max. They've blitzed a lot in the entire game. But this second quarter, look, they got everybody coming. Fry is the one that puts the pressure on, and again, Achenbach on his back.
So Centennial set back a little strategically here when they have to start going on it for 4th down and 10 from field goal range. The pass to Atkinson, complete but out of bounds. So an incomplete pass, it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 25. But I'll tell you what, Centennial would much rather give over the ball at Pocatello's own 25-yard line with that 51-yard pass interception return from Brent Range.
Yeah, they dodged a bullet down there, no doubt about it. And without a kicker, not much you can do. You have to go for any 4th down, any 2-point conversion.
2nd and 10. Wolfenbarger to the near side. Incomplete, intended for Berry. That stops the clock with 1 minute 20 seconds to go in the first half. A 1-point ball game.
Chris Plaza that time for Centennial, getting a little pressure on Wolfenbarger. Maybe forcing him to throw that ball a little bit before he wanted to.
Wayne Zuback along with Larry Pulowski. We're live at the Kibbie Dome in Moscow. Outside, kind of a foggy night in the Palouse. In fact, Pullman Airport was shut down earlier today. Lewiston was at minimums.
They say in Ghostbusters, a real nasty one out there.
You betcha. But here in the Dome, 72 degrees. Perfect playing conditions, and so far, quite a game. 7-6. 3rd down play. That one was almost intercepted by Brett Baxter.
I'm not sure who Wolfenbarger was thrown to that time, but nobody but purple jerseys in the area there.
1:15 to go in the first half.
I think he had a receiver zig when he should have zagged.
So Avery Griggs will kick it away, and Kirk Clifford, a dangerous return man, standing back at his 45-yard line. And Griggs gets a boomer out. Fair catch called for by Clifford at the 42. "32-yard punt, no return." Centennial takes over at their own 42-yard line with 1:10 to work here in the first half. Again, a reminder that, as you see, nobody over on the far side. They've only opened up one side of the Kibbie Dome here tonight. Put everybody on the press box side where we are at. 3 wide receivers come to the near side. Achenbach looking, throwing incomplete, and that one was almost picked off. Brad Christensen got a hand on it. 2nd down and 10.
Achenbach just misfires, a little misdirection. Faked the pitch one way, throwing back, and they had the receiver open. That was Barkley coming over the middle on a little slant route, but an errant throw by Achenbach. I guess after you see these quarterbacks throw so well so often, you're kind of almost shocked when they don't make a good throw.
Achenbach now 11 of 18 passing for 124 yards, and he has suffered 1 interception. The draw play to Kirk Clifford. First down. Kirk Clifford a gain of 15. For many people, that's just a giveaway play. For Centennial, anytime Kirk Clifford goes up the middle, he can break it. We saw it last year in the championship, and a lot of teams have seen it this year.
Hurry-up offense being employed by Centennial.
The clock was stopped as they set the change. Now it's running with 56 seconds to go. A flag is down. The ball is thrown out of bounds, incomplete. And you're going to see motion against Centennial.
A little bit too much of a hurry-up on that hurry-up offense.
Of course, at this point, doesn't mean a whole lot. Centennial, it doesn't help them unless they get in the end zone because they really don't have a kicker now.
Saw the fullback there leaning.
Motion, Centennial, first down.
That was Greg Wilson at that fullback position. Come out of that stance just a little bit too early.
Troy Rice checking back in with the play from Greg Drake. It's first down, and now they back it up now with the 5. First down and 15. Now the scoreboard catches up. First down 15, ball back at the 47-yard line. Akapa on the option. He will keep it down to the 38-yard line. Remember now, Centennial is out of timeouts. They used all 3 earlier. Akapa holding his left wrist a little bit. I think he took a helmet on that wrist. 35 seconds to go.
That's a hazard to run in that option. 5'9", 170. You're going to take some hits.
Second down and 5. Akapa. He will try to get out of bounds, and he does to stop the clock with 23 seconds. He gets down to the 36-yard line. He'll be short of a first down.
Akapa there with a few of those hash marks, little stickers on the helmet. It's like he's contributed significantly to that Centennial offense.
Third down and 2. Again, Centennial with no timeouts. So right now they're more interested in trying to get a big play than they are maybe the first down. Akapa with the time, over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Tim Wright. Could have been catchable, I think.
Hit him right between the 8 and the 2. But a lot of defenders in between Wright and Akapa, and he might have been screened off of that ball. Watch this thing hits him right in the chest. But boy, there's a lot of bodies in between him and Akapa.
Yeah, real good coverage that time by the entire Pocatello secondary. They knew what's coming. Fourth down and 2. Kirk Clifford in motion. Pass incomplete, almost intercepted. We've seen a lot of balls thrown just a little bit behind the receiver, and their hands touch the ball goes up for grabs. At that time, luckily for Centennial, it fell to the turf. Here's our vantage point atop the Kibbe Dome. We're down to 14 seconds left to go here, and it's a 7-6 ball game. Pocatello, as we are at the 1989 Melt Bowl. Centennial and Pocatello, 1 against number 2. Right now, number 1 is up by 1 point. Hand off to Wade Bell. Stop made by Matt Bradshaw. That'll probably be the last play of the first half. And there we have it. We have played 24 minutes of football here in this A1 Division I championship game. Number 1 and number 2 button heads. And right now the difference is the fact that Centennial's kicker was injured in the game. They had to go for 2 instead of the almost gimme extra point, and Pocatello leads it 7-6. That could be a major factor in the second half. We'll be back.
A Pocatello special thanks to Dr. Dave McEwen, Dr. Brent Berry, Paul and Mark Villano, and Norman Supply.
So the Centennial Patriots come back out onto the field here at the Kibbe Dome in Moscow. They trail by 1 point, 7-6. The number 1 Pocatello Indians leading it. Wayne DeZubak, Larry Pulowski with you. And we expect an exciting second half here. I'm sure both teams have gone over the adjustments that they need to make. And The Patriots are followed out of that tunnel by the Pocatello Indians.
Well, we've got two classy coaches here, Greg Drake and Jim Cutter, so I'm sure they've gone in and made the halftime adjustments that they'll need to make, and they'll come back out, and I expect to see a lot more wide open play. But again, I'll go back and reiterate, Centennial's got to find some way to stop that blitz that Pocatello's been putting on. Mark Achenpaugh has been on his back more than he's been on his feet in the first half.
Mark Achenpaugh, 11 for 20 passing for 124 yards. Wolfenbarger, 13 to 21 for 183. And of course, he's also thrown for a touchdown. ABC's college football Saturday afternoon at 1:30. It'll be UCLA against Southern Cal. The Bruins and the Trojans going at it. That's 1:30 tomorrow afternoon on Channel 6 and ABC.
Well, this is Rivalry Saturday, time of year when all the rival teams get together and play. A pretty big one up here tomorrow night.
Those of you who normally tune in on Friday night and watch 2020, that will be replayed on Friday night, or rather Sunday night, excuse me. It's normally Friday night. It'll be played on Sunday night at 10:30.
Sometimes to get this local exposure for the high school programs, you have to bite the bullet a little bit and change your viewing habits.
And speaking of local exposure, coming up a little bit later here at the Kibbie Dome, number 1 Caldwell in A1 Division II will be taking on number 3 Skyline, the Grizzlies. And that game, again, will be played later this evening. We will stay here. We will tape delay the game and play it back for those of you watching on KIVI Channel 6 in Boise tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
And that's probably more fair than making people stay up till midnight or 12:30 to see the end of that game. Rather give you the opportunity to see it in its entirety at a decent hour. And I'm sure there's a lot of folks, a lot of proud people over in Caldwell. I'll tell you, that Caldwell Cougar team has been tough all year long. And Skyline, ranked number 3rd, a couple of good ball clubs.
Caldwell has really been tough. Steve Archuleta at quarterback and Brett Williams running the football. Greg Blacker on defense. He's been tough of late.
My favorite coach in the world, too, Bill Cooper. Cooper's a wild man. He probably doesn't show it to the kids on the field. Get him off the field, out amongst adults. The man's a little bit crazy.
Well, there you see David Winder right now. They're working on his right knee. They've got the bag off. They're just taping it up.
Looks like he's going to try and go in the second half.
I tell you what, if nothing else, if he doesn't play a lot, if he can at least kick the football. But look at that. If, I don't know if he's a right-legged kicker.
I think he is.
And that's the knee that they're working on.
Well, and that's awful hard. Any kind of a knee injury, whether it be a hyperextension, any kind of a cartilage problem or ligament problem, he's going to have a hard time following through and getting any kind of impetus into that kick at all.
So Pocatello will kick it off here to start the second half. They lead it by 1, 7-6. Derek Marley will tee it up at the 40-yard line. Chris Treadwell deep, along with Bryce Alexander. There's Marley from Pocatello getting ready to get this second half underway. 24 minutes of football left in the season for these two teams. A low kick. Kirk Clifford stops it and scoops it up at the 26-yard line. Trying to find some kind of a hole. He really can't. And he is brought down by Steve Corneliuson.
Nice situation to have a running back the quality of Clifford as your up man.
Really?
Fielded that line drive and got some pretty good field position for the Patriots.
They did at the 32-yard line. I mean, that's one of those kicks where you go to the wrong man, because that Kirk Clifford's the one guy I would really rather not have it if I were Pocatello. So Centennial with a good field position at the 32 to start things off here in the second half. Achenpaugh, 3 yards, throws to right, just overthrows, incomplete. He had everybody beat. On the coverage was Derek Ludwig, and Wright had him beat by 5 steps.
Achenpaugh again really upset with himself for missing this. He's got Wright wide open, running down the sidelines, and you can see there's the difference between a long play and an incompletion.
That, folks, was 6. Second down and 10 from the 32. Kirk Clifford, the lone setback. Excuse me, he's in the eye. Play action, Acampa pitching it out to Kirk Clifford. Clifford so quick getting out on that corner. A flag goes down. It's out to the 45-yard line, which would be a first down. But a flag is thrown against John Pierce, who had a hold of his helmet.
And he was arguing that he didn't have a hold of the face mask, but the rule is you can't tackle the headgear. So he had a good grasp on that helmet, and that is against the rules. It's just as dangerous to grab a hold of either the top of the helmet or the back end of the helmet. You don't have to have the face mask itself.
Well, that was a gain of 13 yards. Right now, Kirk Clifford, 8 carries, 45 yards, with attack another 15 on.
Now see how he's got the headgear wrapped up in his arm there? That's a penalty. You can't have a headgear.
Pocatello, 1st and 10.
The ball now at the 40-yard line of Pocatello, so that was a big, big gain. Tim Wright splits wide to the left. Along with him out there is Bryce Alexander. And Alexander goes in motion to the near side. Here comes the blitz. Acampa breaks away from one tackler, but can't get away from number 75, and that's Mike Jeremy Reed.
Well, Acampa was bottled up there at first. Somehow got away. But he couldn't get away from Jeremy Reed, who came out of that pile and finally made the sack for about a 4-yard loss.
And that's the 3rd sack that Acampa has suffered. 2nd down and 13, back at the 43-yard line now. Acampa looking at another blitz. Dumps this one off. He was trying to go to the screen play to Kirk Clifford that worked for the touchdown. But not only did they have a blitz, but they also on that screenplay let people in because they just kind of like, they don't really block them. And there was everybody in a white jersey in the backfield.
I don't know about the screenplay on a blitz. That's pretty tough to get time to make that thing develop. Sure, you want to let those offensive line through, but you don't want to let the safeties coming through with a full head of steam.
Yeah, they can really get up there. So now it's 3rd down and 13, back at the 43-yard line. Big defensive stand here by the Pocatello Indians. Handoff to Kirk Clifford. Flag is down. Clifford, he gets around the corner. Clifford down to the 10-yard line. Clifford down to the 2, but again, there's a flag down, and I don't see a lot of happy Centennial Patriots. I got to believe it's holding against Centennial. Everything that could be, no, it's not. It's not even holding.
Procedure.
It's a procedure call.
Well, Kirk Clifford's got to be kind of upset. This is the 2nd time that a penalty has cost him a big play, and this is a great play on his part, individual effort to cut this back to the outside and make the long gainer. But again, never mind, Kirk, they're bringing this one back.
Centennial, 3rd down.
Well, that was a 41-yard play wiped out by a procedure penalty. So on this series, Centennial has seen a man wide open and overthrown him by about 2 inches, just off his fingertips. And they've also had a 41-yard gain down to the 2-yard line called back. What a frustrating drive if you're a Patriot fan. Ball back to the 48-yard line, 3rd down and 18. And another flag flies.
Now they're going to call encroachment on Pocatello. Sterling Davey, number 23, crossed way over the line of scrimmage.
That'll make it 3rd down and 15. Relatively clean first half as far as penalties are concerned, and here we've gotten 3 flags, bang, bang, bang. Pocatello's been penalized 6 times for 52 yards, Centennial 5 times for 28. But that 5th penalty was a big one. Acampa had the time, ran out of it to right. That'll be a first down at the 27-yard line. Coverage there. Brandon Barkdahl was on the coverage, but it was right on the number to Tim Wright.
That's a real nice pattern by Wright. Watch him come back to the sidelines. He doesn't give the defensive man an opportunity to have any way to get to the ball. He shields him off. Good route there by Wright. And you see the nice catch, kept his feet in bounds.
And it's exactly what they needed, a 15-yard gain for a 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. Clifford weaving his way up the middle, inside the 25 to the 24.
Kind of surprised to see Centennial not work the middle of that line more. They've got those big offensive line splits that we talked about in the first half. Again, that spreads out that defense, and there's a pretty easy 4-yard gain.
Greg Wilson checking in. Troy Rice comes out at fullback. And the Patriots come with 3 wide receivers to the near side. 2nd down and 6 at the 24. Hockenpah, the option. For a minute there, he had a great big hole. Pocatello filled it rather quickly, but still a nice gain for Hockenpah. 4 more, and they'll come up with 3rd down and 2.
Hockenpah's a good option quarterback. He has no option on that play. Pitch man's covered, can't turn it up, and you run it into the short side of the field. You've eliminated a lot of opportunity anyway, so he just ate it and took it up for what he could get.
He's checking off at the line of scrimmage now from the I formation. He still has it. Hockenpah 1st down to the 5-yard line and out of bounds.
That whole play there, Wayne, made by the fake he made into the line, a great fake. They call it on the option the ride. When you let that fullback ride with the ball into the line of scrimmage, then you pull it back out. A lot of times the fullback doesn't know if he's going to get the ball or not.
There it is. He puts it right in the belly.
And that really can make linebackers suck up on that fullback, and left a lot of room for Hockenpah. This time, he creates a lot of room to the short side of the field.
17-yard gain down to the 4. 1st and goal from the 4. So Centennial has really moved the football well on this series, but they still have no points to speak of. Down to the 3, Kirk Clifford. Kirk Clifford, that's his 10th carry of the ball game. He now has 50 yards.
Tripped up that time by Wayne Fry. Just barely got a little bit of his shoelace. Made him stumble.
Play comes in from Greg Drake. Greg Smith, the messenger. 7-6 is our score. The Pocatello Indians lead the Centennial Patriots with 7:45 to go here, and Centennial calls timeout. The Patriots want to call timeout with 7:45 to go in the 3rd quarter, and a 2nd down and goal from the 3.
With Centennial not afraid to burn some timeouts. They used all 3 of them very quickly in the first half, and now they have to use one here with 7:45 left to go in the 3rd quarter in a tight ball game. Well, you hate to have to use those in the middle of a 3rd quarter.
Earlier today, the 8-man title was won by Garden Valley here at the Kibbe Dome this morning. They beat Highland Craigmont 64-14. Both those teams came into the game undefeated. Everybody expected it to be a wild scoring game. It was 44-0 Garden Valley at halftime, Larry. And in 8-man, they have a 45-point rule. So if they had made an extra point somewhere along the way, that game would have been stopped at halftime, would have been over 45-0. But it was 44-0, so they came out and they played. As you look at some of the Caldwell Cougars getting ready for their game later tonight against Skyline. And the end result was 64-14, Garden Valley winning it, and they did stop the game with 32 seconds to go because of the 45-point rule at that point.
I've been in a couple of games where I wish they would have had a 45-point rule, too.
So far in this drive for Centennial, they've gone 9 plays, 65 yards. Also today, this afternoon, Hagerman beat Marsing 16-12 for the A4 championship. The handoff to Kirk Clifford, and he is in for the touchdown. He just followed the wave of offensive linemen.
And it was a good wave, too. When you get down on that goal line, you've got to have some real explosion off that line of scrimmage. And Kirk Clifford, no fool, gets in behind the big guys and lets them do the work, and then he just keeps driving the legs until the pile goes in.
Last year against Bora, Kirk Clifford came out and ran some 60-something yards for a touchdown to start the 3rd quarter. And that set the pace as Centennial won the championship last year. Now he scored a touchdown here in the third to give Centennial their first lead. Their kicker is still hurt. They will go for two. The option. Mark Achenpaul will not get it. He is thrown unceremoniously to the turf by Wayne Fry, and it will remain 12-7.
I don't know, Wayne. I don't like that option play on the goal line. Just too many things that can happen. One of them bad, like that right there. But if that's your bread and butter, I guess you go with it.
Well, most teams have plays that they call at the line. You know, most teams have plays where they go for the 2-point. Everybody should have them in your playbook. Kurt Clifford.
I'd sure like to see the ball in that guy's hand.
Well, that's the thing.
Here's the TD again, coming right at you from that end zone shot. Big guy leading the charge there, Rich Cooper, number 78. But I'd like to see that guy with the ball out of that I back position and let him go, because he can get from point A to point B in a big hurry.
Nobody ever questioned that, and this is Greg Smith getting ready to kick off. Jerry Belknap is deep, along with Brian Atkinson. Boy, Smith puts a foot into this one. Belknap takes it over his shoulder at the 3-yard line. And Belknap on his feet to the 15-yard line, where he is stopped by Troy Rice.
We're talking about being in no man's land. Belknap down there dodged 5 or 6 Patriots before they finally get a hold of him.
Scoring drive, 10 plays, 68 yards. And look at the time they ran off the clock.
Yeah, that's a nice drive, 10-play drive. 68 yards, you know, almost 7 yards a play. That's a nice drive. That's got to get your confidence level up.
Well, you did what you had to do. The only downer about the whole thing for Centennial is the fact that they've had to go for two because their kicker's hurt, and they're still up only 12-7. Belknap makes the catch, is hit every which way but loose, and hangs onto the ball.
Mike Cox put the initial hit on. But Belknap, as we've said before, he's a tough kid. He doesn't go down on the first hit. Not very often, anyway. Here's a great aerial shot from the end zone. Watch the pop he takes after he catches the ball. That wasn't actually Cox. It was the free safety that came up and hit him.
That was a great throw by Wolfenberger, because really Belknap was covered well. Bell gets the first down. They weren't going to try anything fancy there. Just kind of handed off to the big guy, Wade Bell. He's 6 foot, 195 pounds, and he actually made a pretty good play out of it.
Yeah, Bell on the quick hitter, something we haven't seen Pocatello run very much of. This may be one of the adjustments that Jim Cutter, head coach of Pocatello, has made at halftime.
They wanted 2 and got 12. Wade Bell now 5 carries for 24 yards. He, in fact, becomes the leading rusher for Pocatello with that carry. Going for it all. Atkinson makes the catch. Oh, great catch. He caught it as he was falling down. Draped all over him was Orlando Piva, but he still makes it at the 37.
We talked about Achenpaul reading the blitz. That time Wolfenbarger definitely reads the blitz. You see both inside linebackers coming for Centennial. They're picked up very well. Wolfenbarger just airs it out in great position that time by the receiver to make that catch.
Atkinson now 6 receptions for 136 yards. First down. Hand off to Bell. Flag goes down in the middle. Bell goes down on the outside. Matt Bradshaw rode him out of bounds. But you got to believe the flag was thrown in an area where you'll normally get holding, and that's the call against Pocatello. Go back to Achenpaul right now. Not Achenpaul, excuse me, but Wolfenbarger. He is 15 of 23 for 218 yards passing.
Boy, and is Atkinson the big play guy? Yep. They have gone to him on some long pass plays, and that one right there, if he's led a little bit more, he could go all the way.
By the way, the most yards receiving, the record in the A1 Divisional Football Championship is 155 yards set by Eric Van Orden from Highland back in '84. So right now, you got Atkinson with 136, so he's closing in on a record-performing night. we knew we kind of were getting close to some records. We started looking at those record books to see where we're at. 5 minutes, 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Wolfenbarger to Atkinson, just overthrown. He pulled some double coverage there, but he beat everybody.
Orlando Piva on the coverage that time, but Atkinson, again, behind the coverage, had 2 steps on Piva.
Well, Joe Galloway came over to help out, but again, not only was Galloway late getting there, Piva couldn't hang on. You'll see it here. Atkinson beat them both.
And he's got that step that he needs. Ball just a little overthrown, but you can see the strength in the arm of Wolfenbarger.
Second down and 20, back at the 47-yard line. Again, the play action fake. They're going back to the screen pass to Belknap. Belknap down to the 30-yard line. Tripped up from behind. He'll be 3 yards shy of a first down, and he had a head of steam, and I didn't catch who tripped him up.
Charles Burton, number 38, comes back to make that tackle. But like you want Kirk Clifford with the ball in his hands, if you're a Centennial fan, if you're an Indian fan, having Belknap with the ball on a screen pass with 2 big guys out in front of him, that's not a bad situation to have either.
Now, Barry Smith, number 79, was leading the way. He's 290 pounds. You get out of his way. High formation, Belknap looking for the first down. Close, I don't think he got it. They may have to try it on 4th down. Let's see what kind of a riverboat gambler Jim Cutter is. It all depends where they mark it. But he had to get to the 27.
Well, and a field goal try is going to leave you at about 44, 45 yards. That's a pretty good poke.
So here go the Centennial Patriots on defense. The Pocatello Indians on offense. 4th down and a yard. High formation. Belknap. He won't get it.
Max DePello, number 46, one of the guys in there on that tackle, and there's a bunch of Centennial Patriots that made that stop possible.
4 minutes and 17 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 12-7, Centennial leads Pocatello, and the Patriots with a big defensive stand there.
Well, and the field goal again from that range, Wayne, not a very good situation to have either, so Jim Cutter pretty much had to go for that 4th down.
Kirk Clifford hit in the backfield.
That's Jared Tolman again. Tolman, they have blitzed him 8-9 times tonight. He's an outside linebacker. He's only 5'10", 175.
That's 25 or 85.
Well, 85 makes the initial hit.
Now that would be Forrest Bennett. Pretty much no gain. Second down at 10, and again, Achenbach calling off at the line of scrimmage. Achenbach, he has the first down to the 44-yard line. Pickup of 13 yards for Mark Achenbach.
Watch the fake pitch here. Again, the good ride into the line. He brings that linebacker up, fakes the pitch, gets rid of the outside guy, and picks up 14.
That was about as strong as we've seen Achenbach run. It looks like he's kind of trying to take control of this ball game. First down and 10 from the 43-yard line. 3-step drop. He's got pressure from the backside. This one is tipped incomplete. Brian Ratliff tipped it. But again, it was Achenbach having to really rush it because he got a lot of pressure from the blind side.
And going to the air on first down. They've stayed pretty much with the run. Ratliff, good drive on the ball, gets over there in front of that pass play.
Second down at 10 at the 43. Achenbach has completed only 5 of his last 15 passes, so he's had a little problem here in the late going. Kirk Clifford out to the 45, gain of 2, third down and 8.
Another nice play there by Ratliff. 2 in a row for that young man. Played off of his block and still was able to get to the pitch man, Clifford, and make the tackle.
Wayne Dzubak, Larry Pulowski with you live from the Kibbie Dome in Moscow, the A1 Division I championship game. Centennial, the defending state A1 champs, lead at 12-7 with 2:27 to go in the third quarter. They're facing a 3rd down and 8 from the 45-yard line. Occupied, it's intercepted. This could go all the way for 6. Coming up with it is Brad Christensen. He was caught from behind at the 20-yard line with a touchdown-saving tackle.
Well, Christensen ate that thing up all the way. 28-yard return, and he had that diagnosed from the very start of that play. No hesitation at all from Christensen. He just comes up and makes the pick, and there is no way that ball is going to be completed except to Christensen.
Now, Tim Wright was the intended receiver. Look at the ground he made up. I was surprised that Tim Wright was able to make up that ground. Otherwise, Christensen was in for 6. So a big turnabout here in the third quarter with 2:12 to go. Pocatello threatening at the 22-yard line. Avery Griggs. Berry to the near side. Looking for Griggs. Has it at the 11. And he's down to the 7-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal to go Pocatello. Avery Griggs coming into the ball game at 6'2", 195-pound junior.
Talked about the size of Centennial's receivers. That's a pretty good sized receiver himself. 6'2", 195. Hard guy to bring down in the open field.
14-yard pickup, 1st and goal to go. Pocatello with the 8-yard line is where they marked it. Belknap, the lone setback, gets it. And Belknap kind of slowed down by Justin Pond and then got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe to the 7. 2nd and goal.
Pocatello has not been able to run too often on this Centennial defense. They've had a couple of quick hitters that have got by that initial line of scrimmage. But for the most part, Centennial has controlled the running game fairly well.
Mike Berry, Brian Atkinson split wide right. Wolfenbarger rolling that way into the end zone, wide open, touchdown, Atkinson. Brian Atkinson, an 8-yard touchdown reception from Scott Wolfenbarger, and Pocatello leads it 13-12.
Atkinson really does a nice job of finding the hole in the end zone and just turning around, sitting down, and letting his quarterback get him the ball. See, just is a dead stop. He just holds his ground and waits for the ball to get there from Wolfenbarger, and sure enough, it's there.
3 plays, 22 yards after the interception by Christensen, and the Pocatello Indians capitalizing quickly here at the Kibbie Dome. Now they are having a situation where they are up by 1 point. Do they go for 2 and at least force an overtime? So they have taken a timeout to talk this situation over. Or do they go for 1 where a field goal can beat them? And it looks like Jim Cutter has decided to give it a 2-point try. But first they want to call timeout to discuss what they want to do. It's kind of interesting what the lack of a kicker for Centennial now with the injury to Winder has done to the whole game plan for both sides.
Well, they know that Centennial has to go for 2 because, as you said, they don't have a kicker. And I think Jim Cutter would be well advised to go for 2 here. And the same kind of a play he just ran would probably not be a bad idea. If no receivers are open, at least it gives Wolfenbarger a chance to run it in.
Well, under normal circumstances, had Centennial been able to go for the 1-point extra point, it would be a 14-13 game right now. No question, you kick the extra point, tie it up, and go on from there. But now Pocatello's got a decision to make. 1:02 to go here in the third quarter. And Pocatello is going to go for 2. They got Atkinson and Belknap to the near side. You got to believe they're going to go to the near side. Those have been the money ball players. Wolfenbarger looking to Belknap. He has it. The coverage couldn't have been any better by Brett Baxter, but a perfect pass and a perfect catch by that man, Jerry Belknap. And it's 15-12 in favor of the Pocatello Indians. 1:02 to play in the third quarter. We'll be back at the Kibbe Dome in a moment.
Changing your place of residence can be a moving experience, especially if you try moving yourself. If it's worth moving right. Call Mayflower. We've got the moving experience to make the right moves on your next move.
For your moving needs, call Southeast Idaho's #1 mover, Westergaard Mayflower, Pocatello, and Idaho Falls.
Now bring European style to any room with Regal Aqua Pearl from Benjamin Moore Paints. This unique latex paint has a soft pearl luster that's fashionable and practical. It's washable, scrubbable, even spatter resistant. Regal Aqua Pearl from Benjamin Moore. The paint with a beautiful accent.
The paint with the beautiful accent is available at Bennett's. Idaho Glass and Paint, 850 North 5th in Pocatello.
At Pocatello, 15-12 over Centennial with 1:02 to go in the third quarter. And right now, a couple of Pocatello players moving in on possible 1A Division I football records in a state championship game. Of course, you got Brian Atkinson receiving. He has 144 yards. The all-time record is 155, held by Eric Van Orden of Highland in 1984. And in that 1984 game, Mark Arstein of Highland threw for 349 yards. And right now, Wolfenbarger has 262 yards, so he has a way to go yet, but he still has a full quarter to play. By the way, in that game in 84, Mark Arstein of Highland beat John Freeze in Coeur d'Alene back in 84. John Freeze will be here tomorrow night against Boise State. Kirk Clifford breaking away from the first wave to the 43-yard line. Boy, they're kicking it to the Clifford. Why kick it to this guy? Kick it someplace else.
Well, it hasn't worked out too well doing it this way, has it?
Not at all. Anyway, we'll keep you posted. Dave Cook, Sports Information Director at University of Idaho, helping us out, keeping our statistics tonight. He had nothing to do Friday night, so he's just helping us out. We appreciate it.
Dave can't get a date.
We appreciate it. First and 10 from the 43-yard line. Achenpaul looking for all the marbles. Intended for Greg Smith, but again, overthrows his intended receiver. So Mark Achenpaul, only 12 of 36, 26 passing for 139 yards. Didn't take long after that interception, did it?
It was a quick one. Only 3 plays to get those points on the board. Centennial, interesting first down play, coming out trying to catch Pocatello with their pants down, so to speak.
Well, they had the matchup they wanted with Greg Smith. Over the middle, Brett Barkley wide open, first down. Pulls his way to the 39-yard line of Pocatello, a big play. 17 yards.
Can't find much more room over the middle than this. Barkley wide open, nobody around. No linebacker in sight.
Brent Barkley now 6 receptions for 76 yards. A lot of receivers starting to build up some pretty good numbers in this ball game. The offense we talked about is definitely there, but it's defensive plays that have been just like that one right there, knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Forrest Bennett. And again, it was Achenpaul knocked to the ground by Will Gardner, I believe.
Watch number 24 from the backside. I believe that's Barkdale. Puts his helmet right in the back of Achenpaul, and although it didn't really affect the throw, that will take its toll after a while, and those are going to add up on a guy that's only 5'9", 5'10", 170 pounds.
Second down and 10 at the 40-yard line. All the time in the world for Smith. Smith has a touchdown. 40 yards.
John Perry receiver, Brad Christensen from Pocatello, had the coverage, but Smith at 6'3" had the height.
Now you talk about an offensive shootout right now. It's 18-15. And you got your kicker out there.
Yeah, Winder's going to try it again.
David Winder, injured in the first half, was unable to kick. He's going to try it, the extra point. It would put Centennial up by 4. It's blocked. Coming through there, number 34 got a hand on it. That's Steve Corneliuson. And so it's a 3-point ball game. (18-15), and we are now only have 12 minutes of football left to go in this game. That was the last play of the third quarter. 18-15. Centennial leads it. Stay with us.
You know, folks, Don and Paul Norder are great supporters of Pocatello High School. That's why they're bringing you this game tonight right here on TV. They love the high schools, and they love Mountain Gems candies, and you will too. I've been eating Mountain Gems candies now for a long, long time, and I can tell you, folks, they're the best around. Go to your favorite store, ask for Mountain Gems candies, and have a piece of that great candy. You'll love them. I tell you, folks, it's the best candy you can get. I love them. I love them. I tell you, I love Mountain Gems.
Come join Santa at the Pine Ridge Mall in making this a Christmas to remember. Visit T-Shirts Plus with 2 convenient locations. Try the new spin art. Design your own T-shirt and they'll spin it for you. For a personalized gift, transfer your own photograph onto one of the many T-shirts or sweat tops. There's also puff prints, Idaho print designs, and satin or supplex coats. Visit the Centennial Center and shop T-Shirts Plus. Santa and the Pine Ridge Mall, making yours a Christmas to remember.
For that pita bread sensation, try the Greek Hero 301 South 4th right here in Pocatello. 11 different unique sandwiches, all made with pita bread. Come on in and visit us, folks. We're at 301 South 4th in Pocatello. And don't be fooled by the different places in town trying to imitate our Greek Hero sandwich. We have the original Greek Hero sandwich with the original sauce. We've been here for over 10 years. So come on in and try the original authentic Greek Hero sandwich at 301 South 4th in Pocatello, and go Indians.
Greg Smith will kick it off for the Patriots. Belknap and Atkinson deep for the Indians. This one's a short one. Going to just drill itself into the turf and picked up by Steve Corneliuson. He's out to the 28-yard line. Let's take a look at the touchdown again. Achenpaugh throwing to Greg Smith for 40 yards.
The height advantage we've talked about so much really, in essence, doesn't come into play there. The ball just kind of drops down into his arms. And sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good, I guess.
Well, great concentration on Greg Smith's part, because John Pierce had his body all in front of him, shielding him from the ball. Bell slowed up by Mike Cox, and then brought down for a gain of about a yard.
Yeah, Cox strings that play out to the sideline, doesn't get credit for the tackle, but gets credit for moving that play all the way down the line of scrimmage and giving him time to get his friends over to make the tackle.
Talk about quick drives, quick points. This one only 4 plays, 57 yards. Pocatello scored at 3 plays. They only went 22 yards, but in 7 plays, we've seen 2 scores here.
That's Griggs over the middle. The big wide receiver.
Avery Griggs. He gets up limping a little bit. He's shy of a first down by about a yard and a half.
There's a Patriot down out there too, so pretty good collision at the end of that play.
With 10 minutes and 59 seconds left in this football game and in the season for these two teams. You know that there's going to be some good hitting down there, and we still can't get the number of the Patriot. It looks like he's had the wind knocked out of him, is what it looks like.
Well, you knew he had to see something bust loose after a fairly defensive first half, 7-6. We've seen things open up considerably here in the third quarter.
Again, earlier today in the 8-man championship game here at the Kibbe Dome, Garden Valley beat Highland Craigmont 64-14. That game stopped with 32 seconds to go in the ball game because of a 45-point rule in 8-man football. A4, you had Hagerman beating Marsing 16-12. As the Patriot gets up, and we find out that it's Matt Bradshaw. And he looks in good stead, a little bit shaken up.
You know, Griggs left the game too. He had kind of dangling an arm. They may have just hit shoulder to shoulder, and sometimes that'll put a little stinger down your arm, send you out to the sideline for a while.
18-15. It's Centennial leading Pocatello right here. Wolfenbarger rolls right, lets it fly to Atkinson. Atkinson with a first down. He's out to the 48-yard line.
Took a good pop there from Joel Galloway. But again, Atkinson, the man for this Pocatello Indian Ball Club all night long.
Right now, he's only 2 yards shy in receiving of the all-time record of 155 yards by a receiver in a state championship A1 game. So Eric Van Orden's record of 155 yards receiving back in 1984 definitely in jeopardy right now. Wolfenbarger looking for Belknap. Stapello puts the stop on him at the 31, but it's another first down and another big gain of 20 yards.
Boy, it seems like they can just throw down the middle of that defense all day long. They've hit the flats. They've gone down the middle. They've run a couple screens that have worked fairly well. That's a zone defense again. A lot of seams in that zone defense. You hear announcers talk all the time. He caught that ball in the seam. That is a seam.
Oh, Belknap now with 7 receptions for 101 yards. Here's Wolfenbarger running it. Stays on his feet, drags people down to the 20-yard line for a gain of 11.
You don't end up 11-0 unless you've got a lot of gutty kids out there playing this game. You saw a great run there by Wolfenbarger. He's done it all tonight. A couple of nice runs, a lot of nice passes, and a lot of sheer effort.
Boy, he's spinning and just dragging people down. Finally, Matt Stapello brings him down. Wolfenbarger, the ball's up for grabs. Incomplete. It was knocked down at the line of scrimmage, tipped rather. And Belknap had a shot at it. The coverage by Mike Cox was there, but the ball actually almost being tipped gave Belknap a better shot at it than it would have normally. That's kind of Murphy's Law that time. Normally when you tip a ball, it gives you a better chance as a defensive team to come up with it. That time the O had a better shot. Second down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Shotgun formation. Wolfenbarger throwing it, knocked down, almost intercepted by Brett Baxter. He's got 4 interceptions on the year. He would have loved to have had number 5 right there.
First time we've seen the shotgun out of Pocatello. And sometimes when you run that play late in the game for the first time, you wonder what's going to happen with that snap, because that can create all kinds of problems. That one was perfect.
Mike Berry to the near side. Atkinson and Belknap wide left. They're going to go to Atkinson. He breaks the tackle. Could be in. He is. And with that touchdown, he not only gives Pocatello the lead, but breaks the all-time record for pass receiving yards in a game.
A big missed tackle there by Orlando Piva. And he was pounding his fists on the turf after that. He knew he'd made a huge mistake.
It is now 21-18 Pocatello. And 173 yards receiving for Brian Atkinson. And that, as we mentioned, breaks the old record of 155 set by Eric Van Orden in 1984 when Highland beat Coeur d'Alene for the championship. Going for 2, Pocatello is. The pass to Atkinson. Why not? When you're hot, you're hot. They've got 2 more, and it's 23-18.
Well, the offenses have gotten geared up, Wayne. Things are really cooking now. And this guy, You can see he's a little tired heading back to that sideline, and I think he has a lot of reason to be tired as much as he's been running up and down the field with the football tonight. And how about that guy right there, number 12? He hasn't had a bad game either.
22 of 33 for 319 yards, and the record for passing in a single game in an A1 championship game is 349, held by Mark Arstein of Highland in that same 1984 game. So he is closing in on that, only 30 yards away.
Well, at least you have Pocatello guys breaking Pocatello guys' records.
Number 8. Yeah,
keep it in the city.
You got it. Derek Marley getting ready to kick off. So Atkinson has himself an A1 championship game record, 173 yards and counting.
And what's bigger yet is they have the lead back again.
That's right, 23-18. So if you're going to break a record and you do it on a touchdown play, your karma's pretty good for that night. Another goofy kick taken by Greg Wilson. Wilson slips, keeps his balance, and he's all the way out to the 38-yard line.
I'm real confused on this kickoff stuff. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that style kickoff done 4 times in a row.
Well, don't be critical here because he's consistent.
Something to be said for consistency.
There you go. 9:50 to go in the ball game. 23-18. Pocatello has it. The lead is just seesawing back and forth.
That's the kind of consistency, though, you'd like to leave somewhere on the field. Forget about it.
That's true. Mark Achenbach up under center. Kirk Clifford, their big money man, trying to find a hole, and does out to the 45-yard line. A 7-yard gain on first down. And for Kirk Clifford, he now has 63 yards rushing on 14 carries.
That one a long drive, but still not very much time taken off the clock, only 2:06. That's pretty quick to cover 72 yards.
It's a long, quick drive.
Is that like a quick, long drive?
Just a little bit different there. Not much room at all for Achenbach. He is brought down by Will Gardner. Will Gardner has been his nemesis all day long.
Big third down play here for Centennial. The way things have gone tonight, look for the option or Barkley over the middle. We haven't seen that one lately.
Well, Barkley's lined up on the right side, tight end.
No option here.
Not with Kirk Clifford going in motion. They're opening up that middle for Barkley. They go instead to Greg Smith, who makes a great catch at the 38-yard line. Greg Smith has made more catches with people hanging all over his body. He made the touchdown catch. He had 2 people on him, and here he's got at least 2 people on him.
Well, he's able to hold his ground here. And again, that's a lot more difficult catch than it looked right there because you've got a guy you know you're going to get hit at least twice. That takes a lot of concentration.
No question, Greg Smith, 6'3", senior at 190 pounds, getting the job done. A first down for Centennial at the 38-yard line. Here comes the pressure, and Achenbach is buried by Laren Andresen. No, excuse me, that was number 47, and I don't have a 47.
No, I have a 42. That was Wally Waller.
Okay.
6 foot, 205-pound linebacker. And he comes virtually untouched. In fact, he is untouched.
Now, why did that look 47 to me? At any rate,
I don't know, Wayne.
It's a big sack. Minus 8 yards, the 4th sack of the game on Mark Achenbach. Second down and 18, back at the 46-yard line. Achenbach again. Will Gardner gets in. And they're just coming full bore for Mark Achenbach, and it's 4th down.
I see a lot of offensive linemen for Centennial with their hands on their hip trying to figure out where in the world these guys are coming from. They better figure it out or Achenbach is going to carry him out of here on a stretcher. Look at that, right off the left side, not a soul even looks at him, let alone tries to block him.
Now this is 3rd down. On the field, they've got 3rd down. On the scoreboard, it says 4th down, so I apologize. I believe it's 3rd down. There's still a discrepancy. 3rd down. Here comes the pressure again. Incomplete, intercepted this time. There's a flag down. John Pierce has the football. He's to the 40-yard line, but there are 2 flags down.
I think you're going to see an interference call on Pocatello. Barclay got pushed off of his route as the ball was in the air.
How does that work?
There's a big break for Centennial.
So a big flag against Pocatello here. They're going to mark it off with 6 minutes and 33 seconds to go. Here in the ball game, 23-18. Pocatello leads it.
Interference. Pocatello. First down.
But thanks to a defensive pass interference call, it's a first down for the Patriots. Ball at the 33-yard line. Centennial down by 5. Kirk Clifford in motion. Here comes the blitz. And Ockenpaw goes down. Sean Modeshaw coming in, number 99, to bring him down, a 6'3", 220-pounder.
Now, this is getting to the point of ludicrousness by Centennial. There's got to be a better way to pick up the blitz than this. The first half, they picked up almost all of them. In the second half, they haven't picked up one.
Well, you had 3 guys who could have made this stop. Modeshaw got him.
Is there anybody up front blocking, though?
But, you know, there's more people, Pocatello players in the Centennial backfield than there are Centennial players. Second out and 13. And Centennial calls timeout. They're quite confused about this. 5 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the ball.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies, charming, disarming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk's for babies. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, a bright baby smile, and great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
For that pita bread sensation, try the Greek Hero 301 South 4th right here in Pocatello. 11 different unique sandwiches, all made with pita bread. Come on in and visit us, folks. We're at 301 South 4th in Pocatello. And don't be fooled by the different places in town trying to imitate our Greek Hero sandwich. We have the original Greek Hero sandwich with the original sauce. We've been here for over 10 years. So come on in and try the original authentic Greek Hero sandwich at 301 South 4th in Pocatello, and go Indians!
Okay. Now there's a minute 37 to go in this ball game, so. Now we are back at the Kibbe Dome. Unfortunately, we blew a breaker, lost all power to the truck. We apologize sincerely. Pocatello still leading this game 23-18 with 1:37 to go. The Indians have the football. They're faced with a second down and 12 at the 47-yard line of Centennial.
Maybe just to update people on what has happened. Centennial's drive ended. They went for a 4th down and about 14 play. They only gained 13 and a half. Missed the first down by a half a yard. Pocatello took over the ball. That's where we're at now.
And they're running out the clock. And again, we apologize sincerely. A breaker was blown here at the Kibbe Dome, losing all power to the truck. And not much you can do. They've been scrambling ever since. And again, our apologies for those of you watching this game tonight. 1:25 to go in the ball game. Still 23-18. There was no scoring while we were gone. But Pocatello has the ball. 3rd down and 12 now at the 47.
And Centennial out of timeout, so no chance for them to stop the clock.
This clock will definitely run down if they don't score the first down here, get the first down, run down to about 30 seconds to go. Somewhere in that vicinity. The handoff, obviously, Belknap can go nowhere. Somehow Matt Stapello came away with the ball, but obviously he took it away, and the officials say no way. But right now, while they unscramble here, now the officials take timeout. Officials timeout to get things together. Stapello took the football, and instead of everybody getting back ready to go for the play to start, kind of walked down there, and about 15 seconds ran off the clock. There's 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. 17 seconds on the clock. And I can guarantee you Pocatello will take a 5-yard penalty here with 10 seconds to go. They can run this clock down to 15 before they have to do anything. They are not going to snap it. They'll take the 5-yard penalty and kick. And Centennial will get the ball back with 15 seconds to go.
Alan, 15 seconds, and how long is it going to take for the return? So they could be anywhere from 5 to 10 or 12 seconds, or if a fair catch, they could have the full 15.
Well, I guarantee you, probably Kirk Clifford thinks he's a dangerous man to have back there. You hate to kind of put the red light on Kirk Clifford and say, don't run this back, but by the same token, maybe you want your offense out there with 15 seconds to go. I think I'd gamble right now, Larry, and if Kirk Clifford can fill this one cleanly and he's got some room to go, see what he can do.
Well, and Pocatello's going to huddle up, take their last timeout. I believe that's their last timeout. And they want to make sure of just that. They want to make sure that they don't allow Clifford to have this big run back, because he's a dangerous guy when he touches that ball, and anything can happen. That was the last timeout for Pocatello.
So nobody has any timeouts left. 15 seconds to go in the game. 23-18 in favor of the #1 ranked Pocatello Indians. It looks like Scott Wolfenbarger will finish the game 22 of 33 for 319 yards. He also has 51 yards rushing, so not a bad game. Brian Atkinson with 173 yards receiving on 9 catches. He will finish the year with 48 receptions. Avery Griggs back at his 30-yard line to kick it away to Kirk Clifford. We'll see if he tries to kick it out of bounds, right at Clifford, or what they do. It's 4th down and 21. High snap, almost blocked, partially blocked, I believe. And there's a flag down.
I don't think they got a piece of the ball, but I know we're going to have roughing the kicker.
Well, there's a flag down, obviously roughing the kicker. I thought they got a piece of it because the ball came off his foot.
I think it was just a lousy kick. I don't think they got a piece of it, but they had the full bore block on.
Well, let's take a look at it again and see, because that ball came off of his foot and all it did was one end over the other.
Let's see if we can see here. This is a great shot to see if we can get. Oh, that's a great play by Griggs just to get it off, and it can't see the end of it, but I don't believe anybody touched that ball.
Well, it is roughing the kicker. Pocatello will get it back and run out the clock. Apparently, we're not going to be able to see that, huh? At any rate, the Pocatello Indians with possession of the ball and 4 seconds to go will just take the snap, and this one will be history. You know, I'll tell you what, that's a tough call to make at that position. If you're the official, he must have seen it clearly, because the way the ball came off his foot, it looked like it had been partially blocked. It just went end over end over end and didn't go very far. The clock runs out. Pocatello doesn't even have to take a snap, and the Pocatello Indians have won the A1 Division I championship.
A very spirited second half by this Pocatello Indian Ball Club. It was a slugfest back and forth, and the Indians had one more score in them than Centennial did. They come out on top, but a real good second half and a real explosive second half.
23-18, the final. Pocatello winning it. We'll be back at the Kibbe Dome in just a moment.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies, so charming, disarming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk's for babies, and when you know it, baby, milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, bright baby smile, and ooh, great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby, milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
So, we get so wrapped up in our own lives, sometimes we forget that our car has a life of its own. Now, what's the best car insurance in the world?
Regular service.
For over 45 years, Flandreau Ford has been providing it. Even today, you still get lube oil filter service for only $18.95 at Flandreau's. And by the way, if the family car has a wrinkle or two, see Mike Rohn at Flandreau's. He'll be happy to give you a free estimate. See Ed Flandreau, Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, Yellowstone, and Cedar, Pocatello. Nearly a half-century of service to Idaho.
You know, folks, Don and Paul Norder are great supporters of Pocatello High School. That's why they're bringing you this game tonight right here on TV. They love the high schools, and they love Mountain Gems candies, and you will too. I've been eating Mountain Gems candies now for a long, long time, and I can tell you, folks, they're the best around. Go to your favorite store, ask for Mountain Gems candies, and have a piece of that great candy. You'll love them. I tell you, folks, it's the best candy you can get. I love them. I love them. I tell you, I love Mountain Gems.
Come join Santa at the Pine Ridge Mall in making this a Christmas to remember. Visit T-Shirts Plus with 2 convenient locations. Try the new spin art. Design your own T-shirt and they'll spin it for you. For a personalized gift, transfer your own photograph onto one of the many T-shirts or sweat tops. There's also puff prints, Idaho print designs, and satin or supplex coats. Visit the Centennial Center and shop T-Shirts Plus. Santa and the Pine Ridge Mall, making yours a Christmas to remember.
There it is. That's the final. The number 1 Pocatello Indians beating the number 2 Centennial Patriots 23-18. So back on October 6th, when Pocatello took over as number 1 by beating Highland by a score of 14-12, how people knew what they were talking about. The Indians maintained it all the way through.
This second half was a lot of fun to watch in the fact that it was back and forth. It was a slugfest. One team would score, the other team would come back. It was a great effort by both teams, and neither team has anything to be ashamed about. I just think that Pocatello blitz was too much for Centennial to handle today.
No question. Mark Ockenpaugh had to constantly go to be audible, and you can see the Pocatello Indians are letting everybody know that they are indeed number 1 in the state of Idaho. They have now won 12 in a row. Centennial's 16-game winning streak has come to a close. And as you can see, he had the elation on the one hand, the dejection on the other.
Well, both of these teams came in here undefeated. This is the first experience of losing that either of these teams have had this year, and fortunately for Pocatello, they don't have to experience it. They're taking their trophy off the field right now that they just received from Bill Young, the Idaho High School Activities Association. And they are the Milk Bowl champions.
Brian Atkinson, if he had to have an MVP in this game, 9 receptions for 173 yards for Pocatello. And that, of course, sets a new A1 Division I championship game record.
Yeah, he was the receiving end of a lot of Wolfenbarger passes. And tell you got to give Wolfenbarger credit. He threw a nice game tonight. He had some real nice passes. He read blitzes when he had to. He got the ball down the field when he had to, and he did a really nice job of getting Atkinson the ball. But you got to really look at that kid. That receiver knows how to run patterns. He got into the open, and he was open all night long.
Scott Wolfenbarger, 22 of 33 passing for 319 yards. In all, Pocatello with 422 offensive yards tonight, 336 for Centennial. So there was a lot of offense, just as we expected, but in the end, big defensive plays really got the job done.
Yeah, it was. And here's another perfect example of Wolfenbarger getting the ball to Atkinson. Watch Atkinson sit down right in the middle of the end zone. There's nobody there. He finds the hole. He sits down. He takes his lick, but it's a touchdown.
Atkinson, a couple of touchdown receptions tonight, as I mentioned coming in. Every time he touched the football, he was good for 16 yards. He had 39 receptions coming in. Well, here he has 9 receptions tonight for 173 yards. So that 16 yards per catch really upped even some more from there. He is just a tremendous receiver and got the job done tonight. This Centennial knew who Wolfenbarger was going to go to. They just couldn't cover the guy.
Well, and you can see a bunch of happy Indians there. They don't want to leave the field. Centennial pretty well cleared off. They're heading to the locker room, but when you win that state championship, you worked all year to get there. You want to savor it for a little while. You want to make it last as long as you can.
Scott Wolfenbarger just had a great night all night long. Here he comes again.
And look at the protection. Nobody in his face on this pass. Gets it down the field.
I will say, though, his receivers were wide open most of the night.
They really exploited that zone defense that Centennial seemed to be in almost all night long. I can't remember a lot of man-to-man situations where they were where they had to cover the man guy. They were just splitting the seam. They got down in the middle of the field. They used the flats very effectively. Atkinson found a lot of holes, a lot of curls, some in routes, a couple of deep passes on blitzes. So I guess that what it all boils down to is Pocatello just found the open receiver, and they were open.
Well, for Scott Wolfenbarger, we'll take a look at another touchdown that he makes here. For Scott Wolfenbarger, a big, big game, because last year in the semifinals, he was injured. He had to sit there and watch his team lose 38-17 to the Centennial Patriots in the semifinals. And then bingo, as Atkinson goes in for the touchdown, he is back. They've got a 12-game winning streak going. They haven't lost since that loss to Centennial. And for Wolfenbarger, I guess for him, just a great night because he's overcome that problem of having a year ago to sit there and watch his team lose.
Well, you have to give a lot of credit, too, to Jim Cutter. Perfect season for this Pocatello Indian team. We'll take a look at some final statistics here.
Now, Jim Cutter, fired in 1987 as the head coach of the Idaho State Bengals. He comes back in 88, leads the Pocatello Indians to a 7-4 record, their first playoff appearance in 20 years, and now he's got a state championship, perfect at 12-0. We mentioned it, 422 total yards to 336, but there's one statistic that doesn't show up there. Mark Achenpaugh was sacked 6 times. So Mark Achenpaugh sacked 6 times tonight. When you got that kind of pressure, and there were many times when he was not sacked where he just had to throw quickly, you're not going to be effective.
There was a series where I think that Pocatello blitzed 3 or 4 times in a row, and every time they sacked him, he just could not get away from the pressure that Pocatello put on him. And in most of those cases, those 3 sacks in particular, no one even touched the blitz man.
Exactly.
You can't ask a quarterback to complete passes when he's got guys hanging on him and knocking him down.
And Achenpaugh was trying to do as much as he could because Mark Achenpaugh was calling audibles all the time. But at any rate, that's the situation tonight. Caldwell and Skyline getting ready to tee you up. A reminder for those of you watching on Channel 6 in Boise, you will see that game, tape delay, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Caldwell against Skyline for the A1 Division II Championship. Final again tonight, 23-18. Number 1 Pocatello beating number 2 Centennial for the A1 Division I Championship. For Larry Pulowski, I'm Wayne DeZubak. Thanks for joining us.
A Pocatello special thanks to Dr. Dave McEwen, Dr. Brent Berry, Paul and Mark Villano, and Norman Supply for helping make this game possible.